like Bradley Manning, I was court martial. And like Bradley Manning, I guess no. It's so hard to look at Bradley Manning. He's so cute. Anyways, I'm just here to read the statement by the local chapter of IVAW, Iraq Veterans Against the War.
Kiss the mic. Kiss the mic, Steve.
So chat.
No, just kiss it.
The beginnings of San Francisco's gay liberation movement were deeply tied with mass mobilizations against the Vietnam War, alongside thousands of GI resistors like Bradley Manning. Iraq Veterans Against the War, San Francisco is disappointed that the board of SF Pride has betrayed the strong anti-war roots of San Francisco's LGBT community by deciding to unseat Bradley Manning as 2013 Grand Marshal and to further publicly malign Manning. SF Pride has broken its own tradition of appointing controversial community leaders and freedom fighters as Grand Marshals, and has instead capitulated to the interests of its funders and lowest common denominator politics by making the profoundly undemocratic decision to reverse Manning's election. SF Pride's recent statement also makes several false assertions about the nature and effects of Manning's actions. As veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, both queers and allies, we strongly object to the hyperbolic assertion made by Lisa Williams, president of the SF Pride's board of directors, that Manning's election as Grand Marshal is an insult to everyone, gay and straight, who has ever served in the military of this country. Well, she never talked to me. I don't know, did any of you get a phone call? I didn't. Or that his actions, which place in harm's way the lives of our men and women in uniform. Indeed, U.S. service members are placed in harm's way, not by whistleblowers and human rights defenders, but by the policies carried out by the Bush and Obama administrations in Iraq and Afghanistan, and by the broken veteran care system we return to. As veterans, we have witnessed the effects of U.S. occupations on civilian populations in Iraq and Afghanistan. As violence racks communities throughout Iraq this month, we note with sadness that today's Iraq is less safe for gay men, as well as women of all sexual orientation, than it was a decade ago when the U.S. invaded. Like us, Manning saw the effects of years of U.S. occupation in Iraq. PFC Manning has been homophobically maligned by the mainstream press as having impulsively leaked documents in an attempt to get back at the Army following relentless homophobic harassment. In fact, Manning's statements reveal an extremely sophisticated analysis of military racism and U.S. military role in undermining democracy in Iraq and around the globe. If Manning is guilty of releasing wires to WikiLeaks, then Manning is guilty of actions that have played a role in catalyzing some of the largest democratic uprisings in recent history. Meanwhile, these crimes pale in comparison to the laundry list of unethical and illegal activities already listed, perpetuated by a number of SF Pride funders, including Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and AT&T. Bradley Manning is currently languishing in a military prison in conditions that the UN and Amnesty International have described as torturous. After nearly 3 years, Manning is facing a trial without basic tenets of due process. Bradley Manning has risked a great deal on account of the belief that information mattered, that we, as a public, would do something if we knew the truth about actions being taken by the U.S. government. Now it is up to us to prove Manning right. Publicly maligning Manning 1 month before what could be the biggest court-martial proceeding our country has ever seen has broad negative implications for the future of truth-telling from within the military ranks, and accordingly for the U.S. population to be informed on the actions of our nation. We would like to respectfully call on members of the wider LGBT community to demand Bradley Manning's reinstatement as 2013 San Francisco Pride Grand Marshal, to take this time to renew commitments to anti-war politics and solidarity with political prisoners, and to visibly support Bradley Manning throughout the ensuing court-martial as well as the upcoming Pride season. Sincerely, San Francisco chapter of Iraq Veterans Against the War and Civilian Soldier Alliance. Thank you.
Woo!